that has been a huge help to us because we all know how expensive women's sanitary items are, and so being able to provide those to our families, especially for our teenagers, but this is just an awkward time anyway for that, and we want to make sure that they have what they need. I also have a supply of them in the pantry so that if, for example, somebody goes to the nurse and is in need of something and the nurse knows that they don't have anything at home, she lets me know, and then I give that to them so that they can close that loop. And then we have so many amazing community partners that are helping us with food raisers, with volunteers, with donations. We are a federally recognized 501c3 organization, which means we're a nonprofit, which means that we don't have to pay tax on things like if I had to buy the paper products or the period products, but it also means that it's a tax-deductible donation. So a lot of community organizations will set up a quarterly donation or a yearly donation, and so they can get a tax letter for that. And that is what helps us go buy the things that we need to supplement the food bank and the child orders that I'm able to get. So for example, if you've ever seen me at Weis or Walmart, it is not uncommon to see me having 400 boxes of cereal in several carts and Evos and everything. And a lot of people know who I am now, and they're not like, wow, she must really like cereal. Yesterday, I spent $1,200 at Weis. I have the other second part of that order coming in on Monday. So, and when you have an increased number of families, and we are seeing record family need right now, I used to, prior to this school year, average right around 90 families a year. Sometimes we top at like 102, 103. We're consistently seeing over 130 now. And we do weekly weekly deliveries to our families because we are a geographically diverse district that doesn't have the public infrastructure of buses to get places, and not everybody has transportation. So what has worked for us for the last 17 years is delivering to their houses, to their temporary shelters, to their hotel, wherever it is that they happen to be. And so we have 14 different routes that go all over the place. And I just have to say thank you for Google Maps because sometimes I'm trying to figure out what's next and what. And we can't do any of what we do without our community partners because this isn't something that is just an ME thing or a me thing or anything. It is a whole community thing. And the ladies that are going to follow me are going to, and by that I mean going after me in this presentation, they are huge help to me, to the district, to our community, and really, literally, this takes all of us. It does take a village to be able to do this. So, just to give you an example, for the hotel unhoused families, everything in there is microwavable if it is something that needs to get heated up, right? So, it's got a pull tab on it if they need to. It's something that's microwavable. There's shelf-stable milk. There's a protein in there, whether it's tuna, chicken, or peanut butter. We've partnered with, it used to be Toll's Market in Maine, but it is now Manny's Shop, I think it is, and then S&M in Endicott on Watson Boulevard, right near Broadway. And our families can take the coupon in for the milk and the coupon in for the eggs, and they can get a gallon of milk and a dozen eggs. And then we collect the coupons and we pay the bill for that. And our hotel families get a milk coupon every week and an egg coupon every other week. And then our non-hotel families get a milk and an egg coupon twice a month. And then there's also cereal, bread, snacks, fruit. We oftentimes will have canned fruit or fresh fruit. And then whatever else it is that we happen to have that is going to be accessible by our families who are living in hotels. And then I have some information about ways to get involved, so I would like to hand those out. Okay, perfect. I've done this in a long time. It's usually in class. I'm like, okay, station captains, come up with your papers. I tell tell them it's because I wanna keep them active during the day. I just really don't wanna walk around. So anybody that didn't get one that needs one? Okay, so, if you have a cell phone, and obviously you don't do it right now, but if you have a cell phone and you're interested in volunteering, you just have to open up your camera app and you can point it at the QR code. And the top one will take you to a Google form sign up. If you would like to help us pack, we have about 1,200 bags to pack. And we're going to be doing that next week on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday from 3:30 to 5:30 at the high school. And then also on 6/23, because of the opportunity, try to put a positive spin on this, the opportunity to have our building under construction this summer, we have to, Rachel, yeah, I try to be all of the optimist here. We have to take all of the bags that we pack for July and August up to the middle school. So, I always joke at the gym, I don't actually need a gym membership because I have a food pantry. But if you would like to help us with any of those dates from 3:30 to 5:30 at the high school, you would point your camera app at the top Google form or QR code. And then we're also doing deliveries. So at the end of June, we send home 3 bags per residence. And then we do the same thing in July, and then the same thing in August, and then we pick back up with weekly deliveries once school starts. And if you think that that might be something that you would be interested in, you would point your camera app at the second QR code, and that's going to be on Wednesday, July 15th, and Wednesday, August 19th from 9 to 10 a.m. At the middle school, because we have the opportunity to have all of our bags there. If you find that you like volunteering and you'd like to continue during the school year, I'm always in need of people to deliver. We have routes that are in Maine, routes that are in Endwell. We have a couple routes that are further out for our McKinney Vento families. And then we also have staff members who are in need of assistance as well. So we make sure that all of that is covered. And I know that I just threw a lot at you. So who has a question for me? Yes.
So what part happens between 9 and, I mean, we're not gonna get all the deliveries done.
So you are, yep, yeah,
Okay.
because, well, if everybody who is signing up and has signed up does the deliveries, the delivery part will probably only take you about 30 to 35 minutes, because you would only have 8 to 10 houses, because it's 3 per, so if you have 10, that's 30 bags. So I try to keep those routes small.
Okay,
Yep,
thank you.
yep, no problem. Other questions?
Rachel, so you're only doing deliveries in one time in July, one time in August?
Correct, we do 3 weeks though, 3 years worth of deliveries, because normally we do 1 bag a week, and this is
Okay.
3 bags at the end of June, and then 3 weeks later is the July, and then 3 weeks later is the August.
Is the start of school.
Right,
Right.
and the only reason,
Okay.
this one actually is 4 weeks later, but the only reason is because we start school later this year. So, I'm just sending you
That's
that.
great. Thank you.
Other questions? All right, well, thank you very much.
Rachel, how do you get that?
Is it turned on? Wait, what? The remote? Yeah, it just works if you hit them. You have to be clicking on the slide, because if you had clicked on something else before, it won't go.
I'll just use the keypad. How about that?
It should just use the right click button.
might be because it's in,
Maybe, well, I had it working.
How about that?
Oh, there you go, I got it. All right. Well, welcome everybody. Good evening. I'm Kermidas, and I am a community school coordinator, and I recently got the McKinney Vento grant coordinator position with the whole UE district. So I am serving the McKinney Vento population across all schools.
And I'm Kailey Graber. I'm the community school coordinator specifically at the middle school in UE.
And I'm DeEtte Bready. I am the community school advisor for all of Maine Endwell. We just have one. UE gets to work together. Almost one in every building.
So the McKinney Vento, we want to share a little bit about what that is. It's a word that is flying out right now and not everybody understands it. So the definition of McKinney Vento, it's a federal law that protects and helps children, teen, and youth experiencing that displacement from school, and we want to help them stay in school and get all of the support to succeed, whether it's basic needs, academic, emotionally, mentally. So we just want to look at the child as a holistic child and see where can we support them when they are going through these tough times of temporary housing. The role of the school, we again just provide support and stability. What can we do to help them create some kind of baseline that they are actually eager to come to school and able to perform, and not just the youth but also the families as well. So the McKinney Vento coordinator, I just got this position in March, by the way, so it's very fresh and new. So I'm kind of going with it, and I'm learning as I go. So what it is through the grant, the UE district got a McKinney Vento grant, and what the coordinator liaison, there's two of us. So I'm there just to support all of the children and the youth, again, those that are displaced. And ensuring they just have equal rights to education, and again, the basic needs, and removing any barriers that's keeping them from either school or participating in after-school activities, summer programs, and just being a kid in general. Some of my roles and responsibilities include informing the families and the youth of their rights. Actually, recently through the grant, we bought these zip binders so that they can take it from place to place with them, and in it are some bus passes, a bus route, let's see what else is in there. There's a community resource guide, there's a welcome letter, and there are papers about the McKinney Vento law and their rights and some of the terminology they need to know when they are speaking with school personnel. We identify the students and the families. That's part of my job, is to hear what's going on, and then I have kind of an interview with the families to see what's going on and see if they're eligible for the McKinney Vento law. Ensuring the immediate school enrollment and access to all school services. Some documentation is not needed. They just get immediate education. Supporting stability, transportation is a really big one. UE district, Deb Saunders is head of the bus garage, and she is an angel. She has been working so hard with getting students to school as much as she can and keeping up with all of the changes. But transportation has been one of the biggest barriers for our families, whether they have no cars or they have cars and then can't afford the gas. Connecting families to all the community resources. We got housing and healthcare and mental health, food, clothing, really anything you can think of. I'm the person that's trying to connect them with it. And then collaborating with schools, districts, agencies, community partners, just to advocate for all of the students and families' well-being.
So I think we know what we think of when we talk about the unhoused population. But as far as the school goes, we also consider a McKinney Vento student to be anybody who's doubled up. So if they lose housing and then move in with another family, that could be out of district. So maybe they're a UE student, but they lose their apartment and they have to move in with friends in Binghamton. We are still obligated to transport them. So the continue school at UE. If they're placed in a hotel through DSS, I think it's good for you to see these are the typical hotels that our families at UE are placed in, probably for you guys too. So they're all over the place. So we have like a McKinney Vento bus and a bus route that goes to these places to try to get all the kids back to UE. Sometimes like the Deepwell in a week ago, some of the kids were having to get on the bus at like 5:30, 6 a.m. to get here, and then they would all get on the bus at the same time, and they would drop them off at their different schools. I'd like to note that there's 2 on here, and I believe Endwell, the nights in, it's just the nights in rule, but JC, it's actually like the village rule that they have a 28 to 30 day move out requirement. What that means is if they're placed through DSS, the other hotels or motels allow them to stay the length of time. It might be, you know, we've had ones for 6 months, but these 2, they have to move out for, I think it's 2 days, every 28 to 30 days, and that's because of squatters' rights, and they don't want them to claim residency and deal with the legality of that. And some of the other things, we don't see it that often, but we have had a few living in these other places. Some of the main challenges, first the housing instability and safety as well. A lot of our families, if they're at, you know, the nights in, it becomes challenging for a parent to go to work, and then if the kids are home, some of the places are not so safe. Transportation, Cassie said that's a huge barrier, not only for the families to get to appointments, but the students also many times can't participate in after-school activities because we only have one McKinney Vento bus. So at the end of the day, they go, you know, if they're in Binghamton, and then they can't do football or any of those things unless they're riding public transportation. Of course, food insecurities. We have a lot of opportunities for food. Hygiene's a big thing because they don't have access to laundry service. That's a really, really tricky thing. They're not using the laundry service at these places. Educational gaps. Again, if they move around a lot, they just get bounced around, sometimes through different districts. And then we put on transitional supports because also when they move into permanent housing, we find that we're so pumped that they found a house, but then they don't have a way to furnish the house. And there's a lot of things that come with getting an apartment. So that's been a challenge. These are just, I recently did a training with staff at GenEF, and these were some of the things I talked about as indicators that staff can look for with our McKinney Vento students. Of course, them being absent, a lot of times if they're, you know, miss their bus and they're out in Binghamton, they're not getting to school because there's just no way that they're gonna get here. You know, if they're local, they can walk, but a lot of the motels are too far for them to walk. Hygiene concerns, I talked about wearing the same clothes, not being able to wash the clothing. We do allow students at GenEF to bring clothing in to be washed, but very rarely will students do that. Unmet medical and dental needs. The fatigue is a big one. Kids coming in and sleeping in class. It's just to be mindful that their sleeping situation might not be that great, especially if they're doubled up. Hunger, students having some anxiety and being kind of stressed out because they don't know where they might be staying at the end of the day, especially a lot of times the kids come to school and their parents have the appointment with DSS, and sometimes DSS moves them at that appointment. Lack of records, and then being disengaged because they've changed schools a lot.
They've got other things to think about.
Yeah, exactly.
So how we help in our role as community school coordinators in these buildings, mainly first things first, we have to get a relationship with these families, right? They are going through some stuff, and because of past experiences, are a little weary about letting other people in. Asking for help is hard. So just non-judgmentally listen to their story, treat them with dignity, let them know that I'm here to help no matter what, 100%. Your student is in our district, that is our main focus. We're gonna help you and your whole family until you're with UE, and then I'm gonna hook you up with Kailey, right? So just, make sure they're seen and heard, listen to their concerns, help them be part of that decision making, connecting them with counselors, social workers, and community resources. Like we've said, we need our community. Rachel said it takes a village. We're tapping everybody all the time. And then when we do have that impact, we start seeing the attendance is getting better. The kid might be a little happier, and these basic needs are being met, and they are starting to thrive. So from our conversations, and that's getting hot right now. From our conversations with these families, what pops up is arranging transportation. We've all said it, it's huge. We're, delivering their meals and everything. Providing access to the friendly food, which we do have on lockdown. Helping navigate the paperwork or getting to DSS, who do they speak to? We're in good contact with their case managers through these agencies as well, and have access to talk both ways so that we can support the whole family. But like meals, not like meals, DSS doesn't have this paperwork in all different languages, and it's really hard. Just in our group text message, last week someone's like, has anybody ever done registration for, I don't even know what it was for one of them. Like, we're confused, and if you speak a different language or you don't have a higher education, that gets even more difficult for the adults. Social workers and teachers, constantly in contact with all of them. Coordinating tutoring and membership and mentorships at Maine Endwell. We're doing for all students. This isn't just students in need, but Regents Prep. We have an after school that you can stay until 4 o'clock at the middle school, but that's if you're missing a lot of school, then you're asked to stay for SOS. And then you have one-on-one time with a teacher to get your work caught up, and a bus will still be able to take you home. The Raising McKinney Vento awareness, here we are, we're out there. And then crisis response to short-term case management. And then the way our community can help, things that we're constantly looking for and needing support with, are all right here, commonly requested items. We've just said them all so many times. Microwavable food, clothing, socks and underwear, diapers and wipes. They can get some at the pantries, but it's, the packages it's not a full package sometimes because they have so many people that they're providing for. Snacks, travel blankets, luggage and backpacks. In school, we're always collecting full backpacks, everything for a kid to start school like the rest of their peers. Greta did a great job with the bags.
Did they work out okay?
They're great, they're huge, and so if someone does have to leave their hotel room, these bags from Harbor Freight they've got nice handles, they can hold a lot of stuff, they're sturdy, and then they can just pack it up real tight and small. It's like a reusable grocery bag. And they're huge, so you can fit a lot in them. Those are wonderful. And other ways too, support your local nonprofit organizations, volunteer with meals or other food pantries, and donations. I did bring some business cards with my information on it, and we can connect everybody, because we've got coordinators in 7 districts. I think we're in 7 of the surrounding districts, so we branch out pretty far.
And I have these little hygiene bags. I think you guys made them for us, Becky. But they've been really helpful. I keep these in my room. I give them to teachers. They just have everything: toothbrush, toothpaste, deodorant, chapstick, and a soap. So these get taken a lot.
So the last thing that I just wanted to say too is Rachel did have in her presentation our numbers for, we have 27 families that span out to 46 students across the district. But all of this, yes, tonight we're talking about McKinney Vento, but it spans to the 100 and almost 30 families that, are also, with today's day and things that are happening, are experiencing some difficult times.
And UE's numbers, I believe we have 80 students, 40-something
It's like
families.
42 families. And it's constantly changing. That number is frequently changing, almost on a weekly basis, actually. I also wanted to say through the grant at UE, we have been starting to provide caregiver sessions 2 a month with 2 different consulting groups where we provide the family's transportation, childcare, and food. So they can come and have a meal and learn. A lot of the sessions are about stress, empowerment, financial literacy. What else? There's so many. Yeah, those are like the big 3 that we have been hitting on. So we have caregiver sessions that have started in April and they're running through August right now. And that has been wonderful. We've also been giving caregivers like a caregiver package, like you guys said, like a duffel bag kind of thing. We also got duffel bags that fold up really small. They're really big and durable. So we've been loading that up with different essential goodies. And just being in this role for a few months, I've realized a lot of us, focus on the students. At least when I was at CFJ, I constantly thought about the students. But now in this role, I'm thinking more about the adults and the family and actually how much they also need, not just the kids. And there's been these requests that come in, I'm like, I would have never thought of that. So I kind of like walk through my house now, like somebody even asked for a toilet brush and some scrubbing bubbles. And I was like, oh yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
And we can do that for you.
Yes, and I was like, yes, I will get that for you,
You got that.
and it, just the little things and things that the adults need too is something to remember.
Any questions?
These are the statistics and so on, but what about the personal response that you receive from these families and from the kids? Can you just share a little bit of?
I deal mostly with the adults, being whole district. I am not in the building long enough to do that, and they have been really receptive, very grateful for the support and more frequently reaching out. So I'm going on my 3rd year in this role at Maine Endwell, so it's been a slow roll Rachel's got a lot of families already underneath her wing and she's got their trust, so I'm still building that with these families, but the referrals are coming in, they're feeling more comfortable to reach out to me instead of me reaching out to them, because I continue that, it's a long break, we're going away for Christmas break. I don't work on Christmas break, but I'm still thinking about you. I wanna let them know that, I'm still here, this is my phone number, and they'll reach out over summer break, and then we come back and, hey, how was it? Is there anything that you are in need of? And they are reaching out and very kind.
Yeah.
I think it's important to note that typically our McKinney Vento families are not unhoused for like a week. At least in my experience, the families that I work with, it's usually a lengthy amount of time. I worked with a family who was on and off at the North Street Motel for over a school year. So you form a relationship. I work with the families a lot, but mostly with the students, and middle school's already a difficult, very challenging time. So I think it's just good for them to have somebody in the building that they can trust and find. Like, that knows what's going on, because they don't share with their teachers. It's not common knowledge.
And you don't want to tell a story
and they don't,
800 times.
and they don't tell other students typically. So you just have circumstances, like I recently had a girl she was going on an overnight school trip, and she was one of our McKinney Vento students, and she didn't have like a duffel bag and things like that. So like one of her teachers does know and works with her closely, but she came to me and we got new socks, and because she had a lot of anxiety about staying somewhere and they were staying with other students. So just things like that. I feel like it's just good for them to have an adult who, even if they had a rough night, they didn't sleep, and they can just come in and be like, can you email my teacher, like, can you just let my teachers know today is gonna be a hard day? So, yeah.
Yeah, so far the families I've worked with, because I'm more on the caregiver end of things than students now in this new role, and they have been very receptive. Some I'm still struggling to make that connection with or even contact. Another thing that I actually didn't even think about are phones, because sometimes their phones shut off. They have to get a new phone, they get a new number. They don't have all the contacts, so they don't know how to get a hold of you. So the ones that I have been able to connect with have been very grateful. Yeah, and I was like, spread the word, I'm here.
I wonder what daycare, how do they handle daycare when they're in a situation like that, if they're working? Is there any kind of arrangement or anything?
No. I don't know of any place that offers daycare. Most of the time,
Rachel
we see.
So, one of our governor's initiatives is to have universal daycare, and Broome is one of the pilot counties for that, and so they haven't picked the locations of them yet. The only reason I know this is because I had a representative from the governor's office in my classroom talking to my kids the other day, and we got talking about this because we talk about all of the obstacles for working, right? And one of them is if you can't afford daycare, you can't go to work, right? And so having universal daycare will actually get paid for by the fact that all of those parents are back in the workforce and paying taxes. And so Broome County is one of those, and they, according to the governor's office, within the next 3 to 4 months are gonna have a more solid plan so that by the time school year starts, they're gonna be having that universal daycare in Broome County. Now, it probably will not meet the demand of every single person because there's shortages of everything, and daycare is one of them, but that is a step in the right direction.
And I have had families say to me when I'm asking about their needs, like, we need there to be after school extracurriculars so that our students can stay, so that I can, because I work till this time and I don't want them at the motel by themselves. But that's tricky. We don't have enough buses, we don't have enough.
There used to be a Boys and Girls Club.
Yeah.
The Southern Tier
Southern
Community
Tier
Center.
Southern Tier.
And it's not cheap.
No, it is not, but we are actually, through our grant, we are actually working with them right now and seeing how we can purchase memberships, starting with summer programs and then branching out to the after-school programs. So we're actually.
We did have a contract through them at Maine Endwell, and they bust, but we don't have that.
Don't we have the after school at least Homer Brink?
Yeah, Homer Brink and Elementary,
Yeah, the
and Maine
elementary schools,
Memorial
yeah.
do have after school provided by the Southern Tier Community Center,
Right.
staff before and after. But they used to have a bus that would take them to the building. We don't have that contract with them anymore.
I don't know if they do.
Maine Endwell had a bus that would take them to.
Maine Endwell, sorry, I thought you
Yes.
meant STC.
Yes.
Okay. I was gonna say, I don't think
Yeah, no,
STC
I don't think
does.
they have a bus.
No.
So what do the families that do have employment do in the summer?
Well, we have summer enrichment. We help them, right now, that's what we're doing. We're helping them get signed up for summer enrichment, which we do have. So we have a kindergarten through 2nd grade, and then a 3 through 5, a 6th grade program, and being under construction, everybody's gonna be out at Maine Memorial, which also the town provides.
It's an opportunity,
It really is, because that is only half day, right? They get out at 11:30 from summer enrichment, but the town of Maine provides, a summer rec program in the town park, which is right in that same parking lot. So they'll send a staff over, pick up those kids and take them to, so that's what I'm working on right now, is getting all of those families hooked up to all of that. But yeah, it was a blessing that everybody is gonna be at Maine Memorial.
See, I told you.
You don't have to worry about half day because your kids can just go play in the park and they'll get lunch and all of that. And they could get picked up at 2:30, 3 o'clock. Yeah.
Another thing I just was thinking about is I believe it was Broome County Food Council. They did a really cool event a couple months ago, maybe. I think it was
Maybe late fall?
yeah.
You can ask me.
Oh, you're right here! Talk about your papa.
Oh, at the hillside?
Yes.
Yeah, so
We need to do that again.
Yeah, and it's in the works. So, Broome County Food Council through, the Families with Young Children Work Group and the Underserved Population Work Group got together and got, 15 organizations to come and have conversations with the unhoused in the Hillside Hotel in Binghamton. And the reason why we picked them is because they have the majority of families in Broome at that hotel. And so we had Good Neighbors come in and they did a food giveaway. We had, hi Jeannie, and we had Dottie's Kitchen come in and they did a meal giveaway. Good Neighbors brought, because we did one for Halloween, the day before Halloween, we did one for the holidays, for Christmas, and Good Neighbors brought decorations and costumes, and, so we had Santa, we had Elf, from Elf, and I mean, it was fantastic, in so many organizations. The idea is to speak to the families one-on-one. That's the goal. We did this in an hour. We had such an army of people, and we would walk up to the families and say, what's your greatest need right now? They would tell us, and I'd go, right there. And I'd call people over, and they would give them, what's your name? Call me tomorrow, I'll call you, and just coordinating their needs. And so, both of them were very successful, and we're looking to do it again. And we're just in the process. Right now, there's a lot of projects going on, so we're looking to see what dates are going to work. But they were highly successful, and and from that, this church, of course, and other churches in Western Broome did, and Rachel was a part of this, the suitcase drive. That went to DSS for what you were talking about, right? People have to move, and when they move, garbage bags are not the way to go. And so suitcases, we did the suitcase drive. And then the other thing we're working on is a snack drive. So ladies, I'll be getting with you. We're looking for church collaboration again in Western Broome to do a snack drive and then give it out to the schools, to the teachers, or whatever. You tell us where you want it to go. So these are things that we're actively doing, staying in good collaboration and in in relationship, partnership, working together, and really. I know that you've probably heard about the RFP that went out from the county. Have you heard about that?
If you would give me a little more detail, maybe I could tell you yes or no.
So Jason Garner, last week, put out an RFP, he did a
Request for proposal.
oh, sorry, it's request for proposal.
Yeah.
And, what Broome County is looking to do is to provide $200,000 to an organization to come in and do a study in Broome County so that we can get the families out of the hotels and into affordable housing. And so, the call went out. And, we're trying to get a handle on what that is, because from what we understand, it is not a local organization, that will be able to do that study, because they have like about 6 to 7 qualifications that they're looking for. And not any of the organizations meet those requirements. So these are organizations that are coming in that specialize in this type of work. And this is gonna be interesting, right? What is that study gonna show, and how are you gonna transition 400 families in Broome County that are in the hotels out and provide them with housing that at this point we do not have. So this is in the works as well. You know, it's got the ear of the Food Council, of course, and all of our collaborative partners to see what we have to do to come up alongside and support that study as much as possible. So,
I mean, I don't even need $200,000, I can tell you, we just don't have affordable housing, like.
correct. And the biggest thing is moving them, the $9.1 million is what this county is spending for those families in a year. Yes. Yes. Per year. So affordable housing,
Yeah.
right? How do you do that? How do you take that money, put it into affordable housing, you know, so that we can house and support, give the families the resources they need. And all these very generous and very abundant organizations in Broome County can help in that respect, so.
Maybe we could use that instead of a new baseball stadium.
Hey. Doesn't have to be either or.
Yeah. That's okay. That's okay.
Should I have you up here?
No. Yeah, I'll get with you later. Oh, yeah, well, what the council's working on is a food systems plan. So we had our assessment done, we're working on a food system plan for Broome, that'll be out in 2027. So we're working very hard on that. It's very involved, and, we're doing our best. We're digging deeper, which is not always easy. And it's taking more time than I would like, but we're gonna do it right, and, we're really gonna set this county up for the food system. And this is gonna involve a regional approach with Tioga and Tompkins. So, that's good news. That's good news, yeah.
Any more questions? Alright, thanks for having me.
I also have business cards, but I only have 5 of them, because I forgot to bring the file, so it doesn't. But DeEtte has them, so if you wanted to get a hold of either of us and don't have our business card, you can always reach out to somebody in your church that knows us, and we can, like Greta or Pastor or Teresa or whoever, and we can definitely get in contact with you.
And I forgot